Uh, Father in heaven, we come to you in the name of Jesus, glorifying your holy name. Lord, we just thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for waking us up this morning, the Lord. And Lord, we just thank you for being our God. For, we are in the midst of trouble right now. And I don't have to say what the trouble is, but we must not forget that you are on the throne. Whichever way this turn out, you're still there to comfort us, oh Lord. So we just thank you, Lord. Bless each person, oh Lord, meet every need, Lord, and guide us in this study,
Okay.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I decided to y'all gotta learn how to encode, because what I mean by encode, deal with variables. When we're dealing with ratio and proportion, it's gonna be with variables. When we deal with measurement, it's gonna be with variables. And I decided to use a better approach to showing you how to do percentages. Okay, I'm going to start off by going to that page. So bear with me here. Okay.
All right, Joe.
Let's just see here. Now I believe that page in one of these here folders. Math class. Let me know if anybody trying to get on, because this page don't show it.
Okay.
Let me see. Now, right here. All right. This is our percentage page, right? Now, see where it says what number is 25% and all that stuff? Now, all I need you to do is remember two things. Whenever you see is, that means equal, right?
Right.
Whenever you see of, that means multiply.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do number 57. What number is 25% of 32? Now watch this. I'm gonna write it down. What number is 25% of 32? Okay. Okay, it says, can everybody see the board?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, now watch. What number? Oh, wait, let me get this color. Very bad at doing it. Can you see it? Wait a minute. I hope this red would work. What? Can you see that?
Yeah.
H-A-T number is 25% of 32. Now, all I need you to remember, two things. X, now let's say N. N is an unknown. I can use N, X, I can use any alphabet to represent the unknown, question mark. So N is equivalent to, that arrow means is equivalent to, unknown. Okay? The word is equivalent to equal. And the word of is equivalent to multiply. Yes, baby? Huh? You were? Oh, you're trying to get in class? Okay, just a minute. I gotta let my wife in, y'all.
Okay.
Just a minute. Let me see. I gotta stop sharing. That's in the way. Okay, just a minute. I'm gonna let you in. Let's see. Participants. Oh, okay. Here you go. Admit. All right. Oh, there she is. Okay, beautiful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh. You going first, honey? Or you want me to go first?
Honey, I just want to make sure I was on. That's all.
Okay. So look. So of is multiplied. Multiply. Okay, now that's our code for all these problems, y'all. That's our code for all these problems. And it's going to be the unknown.
Okay.
Right? We don't know. It's like a question mark. X. Is always going to be equal.
Okay.
And R is going to be X. Now, what number is 25% of 32? What is it we don't know?
What number is?
We don't know what number, right?
Right.
So that's going to be N. Oh, that's going to be
So in
N.
other words, you're saying when you finish up, it'll be end on that number.
Right.
When you finish up.
Right. Now, what's next? Is. What does is represent?
Equal.
Equal. Well, 25% is there. We know what that is. What does of represent?
Times.
Time, right? So I put it there. I'm gonna go to the bottom. Time, and then 32 is just 32. See? Now all I gotta do is multiply 25% times 32, and I will get the answer. Now, before I go any further, see, that's how you encode. You're gonna find a lot of things about encoding. When we get to the interest problems, you're gonna have I equals P R T. How many remember what that stands for, the interest problem? Go in the questions.
This is all new. All new.
But okay, but you understand the more problems we do, okay? Do you prefer it this way or you prefer the last way? Because see, you can look at the problem. All you gotta do is remember that is going to equal. That's all. And we just read it off. What number? You don't know what number, right? So you let that be in. You don't know what number. You don't know what number. So we're gonna let that be in. Cause you, oh my gosh. So let that be in. I gotta get another. Sister Marsha.
Yeah, go store, huh?
Do you have do you have one of these extra?
Did you look in the middle of the table?
Yeah, but it's, let me see. Then, oh yeah, oh, okay, all right, thank you. I tell you,
You're welcome.
you're a lady and a scholar. You're a lady and a scholar.
Always good to have a helpmate.
Yeah, that's right. Glory to God. Okay, now, so, all right, see there? That what number represents N? See what I mean, Morning Joe? Because you don't know what it is.
Right.
You don't know what it is. But we know what is because this we got it in our code right here. This is our translation. You know, like when you're taking the foreign language, you know, and they have the translation, what everything means. This is our translation. When we go here, we got to understand this before we do that. See? So what number is unknown? We don't know, so we say N. We don't know. Now, on to the next part of the sentence, is. We know that's going to equal. That's going to stand for equal. So we put the equal right there. We know what 25% is because it's up there. Of means time, 32. Okay? N equal 25% times 32. So as we do it, we're going to do other types of problems, and do you understand what I mean? Now remember, what we got to do to the percentage? What we got to change it to?
A decimal.
Right. We always got to change the percentage to a decimal. Move the point 2 pages to the left. So make another change. N equal 25.25 times 32. Now in these problems, you can use your calculators. If you had a GED test or something like that, whatever kind of test, they will allow you to use your calculators, because, you know, So 2,500 times 32 is what?
2,500. Now 25 times
Now remember,
32.
0.25 times 32. Now, if you use a calculator on your phone, or how many phones have calculators?
I think all of them got them.
So you might as well set your phone to calculator. set your phone to your calculator phone, because you're gonna have to use the calculators on these.
Oh, okay.
So 2,500 times 32 is what?
Oh, wait a minute. 25. That's 800, ain't it?
Well, what the calculator say?
800.
Is 8.0?
No, it just says 8.
Just 8, right? Now remember that decimal point, Joe.
Huh?
Did you multiply 25 times 32, or do you multiply 25 hundredths, like 0.25 times 32?
Okay.
Okay, you could, but you gotta apply your decimal point. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So 0.25 times 32.
Well, 0.2532.
Yeah, the decimal point makes a big difference.
Oh, okay.
And they'll make you get 8. You're gonna get 8.00. But anyway, it's gonna be 8.
20 times 32.
Right. Okay. Now
Yes, 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah.
okay. Now that is type 1. That is type 1. Now I'm going to show you type 2. Okay. Now, let me see. In order to do this, I got to share. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Now, I'm going to show the other type. Now, see, all these same type. Type A, what number is, what number is, what number is. Now, right here, what percent of 24 is 12? Now, what percent, what is the unknown? We don't know what percent, so there will be N. That of means multiply, 24 equal 12. Now I'm going to write it up first. What percent of 24 is 12? What percent? Okay. Same principle. What percent?
Is it 12%? 12% of 12 is 12? 12% of 24 is 12?
Wait a minute. Let's write it down first. No, 12% is not 12, but let me show you how you got to write it down, Joe. You got to go through the whole process now. And then if you do it from, let's go. Okay, the question is, what percent of 24 is 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
What percent of 24 is 12? So I'm going to write my code down. What does N equal?
N equals unknown.
Unknown, right? UNKNOWN. Okay, what does, now I'm going to say represent, because I got this represent. What does is represent?
Equal.
Is represent equal. Okay, what does R represent?
Is represent.
What does it represent?
Unknown.
Multiply, right?
R.
See, R means multiply.
Is that an R?
No, this OF. OF. SOF. See, what does R represent? What function?
multiply.
Right, multiply. Got it? Now that's the code for all of these problems. Write it down. That way, write it down so you remember. This is the code for all of these problems.
N is unknown. Is equal.
Uh-huh.
And of is time.
Right. Now I got the code to go and translate. What percent? We don't know what percent, right?
Right.
So what percent? That's going to be N. Because we don't know what percent. It's asking what percent.
Okay.
Okay, R is going to be what?
Multiply.
Multiply. We know what 24 is, and is going to be what?
Equal.
Equal.
See there? Now let's put it down here. I'm saying N times 24 equal 12. Now, you see there? Now I got my formula set up. N times 24 equal 12. Now remember when I told y'all? No, I'm gonna, I don't want to confuse you, so let's just do this. Whenever you see a formula like that and multiply times, you gotta get rid of that 24. You gotta get rid of that 24. How did I get that 24? Did I multiply? I multiplied it times N. So what is the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Division, right? So I gotta divide that 24 in order to get rid of it. And that'll cancel out. But if I divide it on this side, what I gotta do on this side?
I don't know what you're doing on one side.
Same thing, right?
You're down too low.
Huh?
Move the camera down a little bit. Yeah, move your camera down a little bit.
Can y'all see it?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Now, if I divide on this side, I got to divide on this side. Right? Huh?
So you're saying that you just put 24 under there, right? Under the 12?
Wait, but why?
Is that what you're saying?
Why? The reason I had N times 24 equal 12, right?
Right.
But I want to know what N equals. So, in order to know what N equals, I got to move that 24, see? I'm going to do it again. And that means that N equals 12 over 24. And that can be reduced to 1/2. But now, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to let that soak in. So the problem was this: what percent of 24 is 12? That's how the problem was. Then we know that N is unknown, is equal, and R is X. So N.
What's the sign for multiplication?
That's this right here.
Oh.
That's the sign for multiplication.
I thought that was a sign for time.
Well, multiplication and time, same thing.
Okay.
Multiplication is operation and time is the sign for it.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions so far?
Right. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
You don't know what percent. It's actually, you don't know what percent.
Right.
So let that be in. It'd be good if you could draw a diagram first. I know that R means time, which means you multiply. Time multiply the same thing. Going from left, remember, I'm going from left to right now. I ain't got to ask about 24 because the number's right there. I know the is stands for what?
Equals.
Equal. Then 12 is right there. So now I come down here. N times 24 equal 12. right? Now, that's the formula. That's in the formula. Now, remember what I was telling y'all. I might want to tell you. Remember what I was telling y'all last week? I said when you do a letter and a number, you don't do it that way, right?
Right.
But before I do anything, do you understand from here to here?
Right. Right.
Morning, Joe. You
So
understand from here to here?
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
You don't make sure. But now, instead of saying n times 24, I'm going to have to say 24n equals 12. See? Because if there's no sign in between, that means multiply.
Well, see, what I get mixed up is one time you was putting the n on the left side, now you're putting the n on the right side. How do you distinguish that?
But do you know
What
why?
side is what?
Now, let me tell you something. I can leave this off.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do the customary way,
Right.
I can leave this off and work that. But eventually you're going to have to learn how to do this. You do not multiply a letter. I mean, when you multiply a letter times a number, you put the number in front of the letter, and then you omit the time sign. You do it that 24 times n. It's an invisible time sign.
Okay.
24 times n.
Invisible. Now, equal 24. 24 eggs equal 12. We say n could be eggs. 24 n. Okay, now here's what you understand. I don't want to know what 24n equal. I want to know what n equal.
You want to know what n equals?
Right. Remember in the algebra, Joe? So I got to get rid of that 24.
So n is half of that 24.
Yeah. But how do you know? In your head, you did it excellent. You're right. It's half of it.
Right.
12 is 1/2 of 24.
Right.
But now, mathematically, because the problem wasn't getting kind of involved, mathematically, the opposite of multiplication is what?
You got division.
Divide, right. So I divide this.
You're in the way.
Oh, I divide. Let's see. Got me moving all over the place. So if I divide on this side, what I got to do on this side?
Divide.
Same thing. Remember, when you got a fraction, the denominator stands for the divisor and the numerator stands for the dividend. So you always divide the denominator into the numerator. Okay, we set up now. This cancels out. And n is left by itself. So now you know 12 over 24 is 1/2. Right?
Right.
So that means that n equals 1/2. So now.
So in other words, it asks you, what's 1/2 of 24?
Right. But the question is what percentage?
So you're not finished yet then?
So what I got to do to that fraction?
Divide it.
There you go. On your calculator, divide 2 into 1. 1 divided by 2.
1. Let me see.
At least one. At least one?
On your calculator, 1 divided by 2. Divide 2 into 1.
1 divided by 2.
Oh, okay. Point
0.5,
5.
right?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is it 0.5 or 0.50 or point? Okay.
What? Okay. What the whole is 10?
But on your calculator, you enter 1 first, Morning Joe. 1 divided by 2.
1 divided by 2. But I'm saying, how I get to be 0.5?
Do it on your calculator.
I just did it. Look, okay.
And what did you get?
I got 5. 0, 0, 5.
No, wait a minute.
Point.
1 divided by 2.
0.5.
You got 0.5, right?
Right.
You want to know how it got to be 0.5?
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Because the calculator says so. Now we'll show you.
No, that's the way that goes.
I will show you. Now, but let's finish this first, and then I'll show you more. Okay? Let me finish this. Now, it did not say what decimal. What did it say?
It said 0.5.
No, it says what percent.
Oh,
So what I gotta change that decimal to?
A percent sign?
A percent sign.
okay.
Now
You
how do I
got,
change the decimal
you
to
got, you
percent?
got to move that up two
Right.
times, right?
2 places to the right.
Right.
Okay, and then add a percent. So I said 1, 2, and they give me 50, and I add the percent. So 50% of 24 is 12. And that's the same as saying half of 24 is 12.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna show y'all something. Keep that half in mind. I'm gonna show you something. It's on your class page, and it'll help you with these on some of the numbers. I gotta go back to my sharing thing right here.
Oh, okay. You talking about the percentage and on decimals and all that? Yeah, I wrote
you
that
remember
down.
that? Now, if
Yeah, I
you look
wrote
at
that.
wait a minute, let me see. I think okay. Let me pull up another one of these. Open up another window so I can get to it. Okay. All right here. Y'all remember seeing this?
Yeah, I did.
It'll help you in your conversion on most of the numbers. And you know, 1/2, that's the fraction part, 1/2, right?
Mm-hmm.
The decimal point is 0.5. It's, no matter how many zeros that I add to that, it's going to be 1/2. And the percentage is 50%. Okay.
Something now. You say now.
See that chart? Those are common decimals and percentages.
Okay, 1/4 is 0.20, 0.25.
Yeah, 1/4. Like a quarter is a fourth of a dollar. Is a fourth of a dollar, right? It's also 25% of a dollar.
Uh-huh.
See, these are common. Now, most commons are these right here. But you know, it's an infinite amount, but these are the most common translations, you know. 1, 4, 3, 4, 1/5. You know, 1/5 is 20%. It's also 2/10. So that chart is very handy, you know, when you're doing problems. Right. Now, we're gonna come back to this. We gotta come back to this, but I'm so anxious for y'all to learn about interest because it involves it's probably now, and I'm gonna demonstrate this to you on the board first. Now, and then I'm gonna show you a film. Let's see if I got time to show the film. I'm gonna allow my wife some time. Come on here. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the film about interest, and I want to show you something. Now, I equal P R T. Anybody remember that formula?
No.
You don't remember that formula, Brother Milton? Brother Joe, remember that formula? You apply it every day. You do it when you buy a car. You do it when you buy a house. You do it when you take out a loan.
Mm-hmm.
What's the I? What's that?
And they have it worded like that.
At the bottom, you know where you had the fine print?
Uh-huh.
that is in the fine print.
Right, it's in the fine print. So
I equals P. What is it?
We're gonna explain it. We're gonna explain it. But I want you to understand this formula. I equals PRT. That's
okay.
That's very formula.
No. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And what's that? What's that prime interest rate?
We're gonna do simple interest, do compound interest, and we're gonna do there's 3 types of interest we're gonna do. But this is simple. We gotta deal with the simple first. You're gonna be on simple interest for a while.
Brother Dennis.
Yes.
The I equals PRT is interest, principal, rate, time. That's what the letters are. Okay.
Right.
Brother Joe was going with the prime interest rate. No, we're not talking. Not going there.
Oh, it's okay.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
but you know, it's important. Now that's why you learn percentages, so you can do interest. Cause in this you gotta change fractions to, you know. Now remember, now the principle is amount that say you're buying a car or something. It's the amount that the car costs.
Okay.
If you need to pay cash for, that's it.
Right.
You don't have to pay no interest, right?
Right.
That's the principle. If car costs if you went and bought how much a Volvo costs, honey?
Maybe about $40,000.
$40,000. Listen, I want this Volvo. Here's $40,000. So okay, well, that's it. You can pay. You got your Volvo.
No, but then he tell you taxes and what's the name?
Taxes and tags.
Oh,
Taxes and
Still got to
tags.
get complicated. Still got to throw it.
Don't forget about the dealer's prep.
Okay, all that there.
We're not gonna do it at the tax course. Take a business course, and they'll do the tax part. You know.
Don't be surprised. You know what I'm saying?
You see us, man. We do the business part. Oh wait, somebody else is coming. Let me see here. Oh, Sister George. Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, Sister George, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Listen, tell Sister George, hey, honey, call Sister George and tell her our plan, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. Now, we tell her to observe, and then we're going to tell her to write down the questions, and then we're going to call her and answer all her questions.
Okay.
All right.
She said she sound like she
hear
hear
me,
you.
Mr. George? Okay, you hear me then. Okay, to keep from interference, write down the questions. Any question, write them down, and we're going to call you back after we hang up and answer your questions. Unless it's real crucial. If it's real crucial, then I have my wife call you. Okay, now. And right now, Sister George, we're studying interest. So you came just in time to pick up on our studies and interest. Whatever you miss, you'll catch it on the video that we record. All right? And then then I'll get with you individuals to help you with it. Okay, now, principal is the amount you pay for the Volvo, you know. Now, that and tax, Morning Joe. You pay with the Volvo. The rate is the interest. That's the interest.
Okay.
What percentage of interest you pay? So P is going to equal cost. That's what P is. P equal cost.
Okay.
R equal interest rate. No, it's a rate. Rate, let's say percentage. So sometimes percentage will be given a fraction, sometimes the percentage will be given a decimal, and sometimes, but we deal with that later. T equals time. Now, this time is going to have to be changed into a year. If they give you days, you gotta give the proportion of the year that day is. In other words, if I said 30 days, that'd be 30 over 360. Because it's 360 days in a year, right? That's the fraction of a year. If it says 6 months, it's 6 over what? How many months in a year?
12.
12. If it said months,
so 6.
it'd be 6 over 12, 1/2. If it say years, you don't have to worry. You don't have to do no translation. But this time is in years. All right? So it's in years or parts of years. Okay, so interest.
What does the I stand for?
Now, they may ask you, Well, we're handling each problem individually.
Okay.
Because if they ask you what the time is or the rate is, or the principle is, you got to do some mathematics. But I'm gonna take one problem at a time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm gonna play a video, and this video it's already on your class page. That's the only thing you got. Is this thing? It's interesting on your class page. You got some problems. Look at the film first. Understand the film. But we're gonna go over the film, and then do you see what I mean? Okay. Let me see. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. I don't want that. Close all this off right now. Cause I don't like being confused. I don't like being confused. Now let me see here. Okay. Talent LMS right there. Okay. Now on your class page, that's what it looked like. See there?
Mm-hmm.
That simple interest. So the simple interest. Okay. Wait, let me see something. I think I'll just do it this way. I'll go on as a learner. Okay. Now, where is simple interest? Simple interest. Simple interest. Okay, now that's the movie right there. Let me get this out of the way. All this stuff is in my way. Well, let's open the movie first.
In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the simple interest formula to solve word problems.
Can y'all hear it?
So let's start with this one. John invests $5,000 in a savings account at an annual interest rate of 7% for 5 years. How much money did he earn in interest? So what's the total interest that he received in the course of these 5 years?
Now, it says simple interest formula. It says, wait a minute, what happened? Okay, I'm gonna let it play.
So the equation that we're gonna use is the simple interest formula. I is equal
No, I don't
to
want to
P
do that.
earn in interest. So what's the total? John invests $5,000 in a savings account. Simple interest formula to solve word problems.
Here you go.
So let's start with this problem. John invests $5,000 in
oh my God, I keep missing it. All right, here you go.
John invests $5,000 in a savings account at an annual interest rate of 7% for 5 years. How much money did he earn in interest? So what's the total interest that he received in the course of these 5 years?
Now he's gonna answer A first. How much money did he earn? So the equation that we're gonna use
is the simple interest formula. I is equal to P R T, where I is the total interest received, which is what we're looking for. P is the principal. That's how much money he invests in the account, which was $5,000. R is the annual interest rate, which is 7%, but in the form of a decimal. The decimal form of 7% is 7 divided by 100, which turns out to be 0.07. And T is the time in years. So T is 5 years.
Okay, now, remember, all of that's multiplication. When you multiply something, you use parentheses. So he's multiplying all those together. So that's how you multiply in sign numbers. You separate the numbers by parentheses. That's 5,000 times 700 times 5. So that 5,000 is a cost. That's 700. That's 7%. It moved a dozen places, 2 places to the left. Now, some people, they put a 0 up front. It don't have to be done, but I guess, it's in the habit of doing that. But there's still 700. That 0 could be there or it couldn't be there. We go his point because the decimal point was right there. See, it was behind him, but he dropped the percent sign and he moved it 2 pages to the left to change to a decimal. That 5 represents 5 years. All right. Any questions? Okay.
No.
Any questions?
No.
Everybody understand it, right?
So is that 5 times 35? 7 times 5?
Yeah, it's gonna be 7. Now remember, in your calculator, if you multiply 5,000 times 700, you do that first, and then you take that answer and you multiply it times 5. But let's see how he does it.
So all we got to do is take 5,000 multiplied by 0.07 times 5. So he receives a total of 1,750 in simple interest.
Now that's what he came out with when
Now,
he multiplied all those together.
What is the total value of his savings account at this point?
That's how you compute the interest. Now, what's the total value?
Total value is 7,000. No, yeah, 7,000. No, 6,750.
No.
He's right, baby.
Why?
Because the total value is the principal plus the interest.
That's the total amount you paid. Is that we're saying that the total value is the total amount you paid?
What is the total value of the savings account? See, we're talking about a savings account.
Oh, okay.
I told you, Morning Joe, you can't beat Morning Joe on that money now.
Right about that. I've learned a lot from Mr. Money.
But see, so
now I'm sorry. I had to do something. So you're saying that 1750 that you're doing?
1,700. Cause remember the total amount you buy a car or you take a loan. You getting the amount of money you put it in your savings. They say, okay, the bank gave you so much interest. At the end of 5 years, you earn that much interest, right?
Okay.
You add that to the principal amount you put in, and that's your total amount. That is the total value.
In 5 years.
Yeah, in 5 years.
Okay, I see.
6,750.
Right. So
where is that at?
When you add
5,000 plus
5,000.
Oh, you're adding the 1,750 to 5 years. I mean, time 5 years, or
That's the interest you paid on it.
He put $5,000.
Oh, okay. So you add that to the 5,000 then.
Right. And
see that again.
That's all the money coming out your pocket. Put it like that.
Yeah. Extra.
Excuse me. We're talking about two different things. If you're paying, if that's a bill that you're paying, okay, that's the amount of interest that you're being charged on that $5,000. If that's a savings account that you're accumulating money in, then that's the amount of money added to your $5,000. One is money that's coming out your pocket, and the other is money that's coming in your pocket.
Right.
Okay.
You got that? Okay, now I'm going to replay it up to this point, and then you're going to see how he came out with the solution. But I'm going to replay it up to this point to kind of give you a little review on it. Okay? All right, here you go. What happened?
You hit the wrong thing.
I don't wear comfortable shoes. I refuse to wear comfortable shoes. And you shouldn't wear comfortable shoes. Here's why. First, let's define a comfortable shoe. For most people, a comfortable shoe is one with...
Just push your cursor down there to stop it.
Obvious. I mean, it feels good. You put them on in the store.
You're taking a shopping, huh?
Yeah.
He's not making
I got to do the whole thing again because
shoes. He's not making no sense at all.
Wait a minute. I got to do the whole thing again. Boy, that burns. No, I don't know. I don't feel like doing a whole lot of editing on this film now. Come on. I might have to start over. Let's see. All right. Okay, I'm gonna open up a new one that and I wanted to start at the beginning anyway. So yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go.
In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the simple interest formula to solve word problems. So let's start with this problem. John invests $5,000 in a savings account.
Can y'all see it?
At an annual interest rate of 7% for 5 years.
See
How
that?
much money did he
now $5,000? That was his investment, right?
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Earn in interest? So what's the total interest that he received in the course of these 5 years? So the equation that we're going to use is the simple interest formula. I is equal to PRT, where I is the total interest received, which is what we're looking for. P is the principal. That's how much money he invests in the account, which was $5,000. R is the annual interest rate, which is 7%, but in the form of a decimal. The decimal form of 7% is 7 divided by 100, which turns out to be 0.07. And T is the time in years.
Now remember, I said when you divide by 100, that's the same as moving the decimal 2 pages to the left.
Right.
All right.
So T is 5 years. So all we got to do is take 5,000 multiplied by 0.07 times 5. So he receives a total of $1,750 in simple interest. Now, part B. What is the total value of his savings account at this point? So keep in mind, he initially put in 5,000 and his account was credited with $1,750 in interest.
See that?
So his total account value at this point is $6,750. So that's how much money he has in the account at the end of 5 years using the simple interest formula. So this is the answer for part D, and this is the answer for part A.
Okay, so answer both questions, okay?
Number 2,
No problem.
Sally invests $8,000 into an account paying an annual interest rate of 8.7%. How many years will it take for her to earn $4,872 in interest?
Mm.
Now
The equation that we need to use, once again, is I is equal to PRT.
Same formula.
So the interest that she earned in these years are $4,872. The principal, the amount that she puts in the account, is $8,000. That's P. R is the interest rate. So if we take 8.7 and divide it by 100, R is 0.087. That's the decimal equivalent of 8.7%. Our goal is to find T. We need to find the value.
Now, that is called direct substitution. That's called direct substitution, right?
Mm.
Now, what happens? That's the interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the P. I equals P, R, T. You know what the principal is, $8,000. Mm. And that's the amount of the loan she took out, right?
Right.
This 0.87, it took that 0.87, they moved the decimal places 2 places to the right.
Right.
And to the left. No matter where the decimal place is located, you move it 2 places to the left, right?
Right.
All right. And then, okay, now you don't know what the T is, but if you don't know what it is, that's another way you do it. Just leave it like that, T. You're trying to figure out T. So you got to isolate it. So you know what they're going to do? I want you to see how he do it. But here's what I would do. I would multiply these two first, right?
Right.
And come up with one value. Then I would take whatever value. No, you know what? I'm gonna show you on the board, but let me finish this.
Of T in this problem, because we're looking for how many years it's going to take her to earn this level of interest. So the first thing we need to do is multiply 8,000 by 0.087.
Okay, good. He did
which
that
is
way.
696. Now the next thing we need to do.
Now wait a minute. Now remember what he did? He put that number in front of that variable. Remember I was telling y'all that Morning, Joe.
Uh-huh.
See there, 696 times T.
Time. Oh, but that's the. In other words, you're saying he did 8,000 times
Oh,
0.087, right? That's
all
what he
this
did.
times T, but he multiplied this and came up with one number.
Right.
Times T. See there?
Uh-huh.
You see that?
So what is that? Yeah. So what is this? What is this? 696. What is that?
Yeah, it's on 96.
It's 6,600.
No, it's 696 times T.
Oh, how did he get that?
I'm multiplying 8,000 times 87,000.
Right. Okay. And that's what it. I see what you're saying.
And then he don't know what T is, but he still can multiply the T times that.
Uh-huh.
He said 8,000 times 87,000, and they came with 696 times T. Right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, now watch what he does next. He's gonna ask for T because he wants to know what the T equals. In order to do that, he got to multiply. That was multiplied by 696. So what's it got to be divided by?
487.
No, 696. Because he wouldn't count. Let him do it.
Okay.
Divide both sides by 696.
Now, see that? In order to get rid of them, he got to see the opposite of multiplication is division. So he got to undo that by dividing that 696, so it will cancel out. But if you do it on this side, he got to do it on that side. Morning, Joe, you get it?
Say for so this is the T is the how many years he's gonna have to.
Yeah, you trying to figure that out?
I think it's 7.
Well, we'll see, but not. That's the same thing I did, but on the T's. Well, let me let him finish it. I'm trying to confuse y'all.
So 4,872 divided by 696.
He skipped it.
Is 7. So therefore, it's going to take her 7
Wait a
years.
Now let me tell you what he did. That 696 cancels out, right? Because it goes one time. That cancels out. That 696 until the 696 cancels out. But he didn't do it in the film. I'm gonna do it on the problem. But if he did it on this side, you gotta do it on the other side. But I'm gonna let him finish.
$4,872 in interest.
Now, wait a minute. That stuff keep on now.
When you got the T up there, is that that's the time?
Right, time equals 7 years.
Number 3.
Equals 7 years, but ain't in a 1 year ain't it 365 days?
No, we're talking about time in years. We're not counting. Don't worry about the number of days in the year.
Oh, okay.
You're counting time in years. There are some problems that you will count time in days, especially when you're talking about compound interest. But with simple interest, you're talking about years.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Now, here's what y'all do. I'm gonna at least break one problem. I want y'all to study this film, right? Then after you study the film, you complete and continue, and I want you to go to these problems right here. All right? Now, I'm going to work problems number 1, and I'm going to work problems number 2. Now, I'm going to work problems number 1. We're going to go over this next week. I don't want to take much of my wife's time. It says you invested $101 and receive $106.05 after 1 year. What was the interest rate? Now, you invested. Okay, now, write it up here. Okay. You invested. Y-O-U, invested. $101. You invested $101 and received $106.05. 106.5 cents after 5 cents after 1 year. After 1 year. What was the interest rate? What was the interest rate? All right. Now, let me see if y'all can see this. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see the board?
Yeah, that's
Y'all see the board? You invested $101 and received $106.05 of 1 year. What was the interest rate? Now, I'm gonna put the formula here. I equals P I equals P R T. Okay. Now, what was the interest?
What was the interest rate?
Yeah, not the interest rate. What was the interest?
5%.
Nope, that's the rate. What was the interest? How much interest did you earn?
$101.
No, that's what you invested.
Huh? What is it? Huh?
That's what you invested. How much interest did you get?
Oh. I don't know. It says you received $106.
That's the interest you got off your investment, right?
Oh, yeah.
And at the interest you got off your investment,
right?
You invested $101 and you received. That's the interest you received, right?
Right. $106.
Everybody agree to that?
Right.
All right. So that's the interest. So I'm gonna put this 106 down here. We'll forget about the dollar sign. 106 equals. Okay. What does that $101 represent?
That was you invested.
So that would be what?
That would be
the P?
Yeah, principal.
Oh, the principal, okay.
The cash you come up with is always the principal. If you come up with that cash deposited in the bank, that's the principal. If you come up with that cash and invest it in something, that's the principal. The principal is the amount of cash you got in your hand. If you had to pay cash.
Okay.
That's the principal. If you had to pay up front, anything you pay up front, that's the principal. Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the principal, I'm gonna put it right, that's equal 101. We can leave dollar signs off of it for convenience. I'm gonna put that in parentheses because that stands for the principal. Okay. You invested 101 and received for 1 year. Okay. What does that 1 year represent?
12 months.
Okay, but what?
Okay, the 106.
No, okay. No, what is R? What is R?
The rate.
What's the rate? You don't know.
That's what you don't know what the rate is. That's right.
You don't know the rate, do you, Morning Joe?
That's right.
You don't know the rate. What was the interest rate? You don't know. So we put that R down there. And what was the time?
1 year.
Represent 1 year. See that? Now that's 1 year, so I ain't got to convert it because it's not days. If it was days, I put it over 360. If it was, I put it over 12. But they gave us a break. It's 1 year. All right. So now, 106 equals that rate is 101 down. And then 1 times 101 is just 101. So 1 times anything is the same thing. 1 times R is R. See that 1? 1 times 101 is 101. So all I'm left is with that R. So I'm gonna bring this down. Right? So I don't want to know what 101 R equals. I want to know what R equals. Right?
Right.
So I gotta get rid of this. So I do it by, this is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I gotta undo it. If I do 101 on this side, I gotta do 101 on the other side. Take your calculator and divide that 101. Now this cancels out. Bip. So take that. How many times does 101 go to 106?
Well, it goes in there one time.
No, divide with your calculators. You got
101.
106 divided by 101.
Looks like a lot of numbers there.
106.
But it's 0.95.
Well, what'd you get?
0.95.
Okay.
It can't be that, right?
Yes, it is. 0.95. So 0.95, right? Equals R. See there? So R equals 0.95. That is your rate. Now, wait a minute. Let me show you something. Rate is given in what?
Years?
Percentage.
Oh, percentage, that's right.
So what's the next step, Morning Joe, if rate is given in percentage?
The next step would be, the is.
I got to change it to what?
You got to take it to times.
So, yeah, I got to change it to a percentage, right?
Okay.
So I move the two decimals where?
You got to move it 2 places.
To the right, right?
To the right.
So that's going to equal 95%. Right?
Uh-huh.
Now, is that real? Well, look, you got all that money back. Look at that, 101, you got $106, 95%. You got a good interest rate. Right?
Okay.
All right. So y'all, I gotta go. It's my wife time now, but we're gonna spend time on this. I know.
So go over. So we're gonna go over study the what's name first, right?
Well, I studied the film and notice how he do it. I like the way he just substitute directly and then he solves it. So study the film, look at each one of the problems. Sometimes he'll skip over steps and stuff like that, but still study it. Study the film. You can go back and forth on the film, and then do your best on the lesson. We're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over the problems next week. I'm gonna keep this up here until July the 6th. So
okay.
I finish this by July the 6th, and then we go to our next unit. You know, and y'all doing good. You know, but now we're into welcome to mathematics. You threw the welcome to mathematics.
That's heading into algebra then, right?
Yeah. So you know, because you got to get used to encoding. You got to get used to that. Sister Joyce, I'm going to call you after we get through with this, all right? And then you can start recording it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, she hear you, but she didn't hear what you said though. I don't think.
I'm going to call you after we hang up. I'm going to call you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, honey, you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
And you know, the only problem with doing it this way is you're sharing the screen and I can't share the screen with them. So we're gonna have to do a lot of stuff with conversation.
Why don't you come down here? I bring it up there. Here I come. You know.
No, we'll be all right, honey.
Huh? Do you have to share the screen?
Not today.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Because we got to share. I sure bring it up here. I share what you tell me, sure.
No, you're using my time.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to have to be like Antique Maxine and say reclaiming my time.
All right.
You know, it's funny. I'm sitting in the office and I'm looking. You know, you didn't have stuff cluttered in your office. No, everybody doesn't have stuff cluttered in their office. Joe's office is beautiful,
I got credit stuff on the desk.
And it was really something. I ran into this book, and it's by this guy, John Swarmley, and it's called Liberation Ethics. And I'm like, I don't know why I had this book, where I got the book from or whatever. And then I'm looking at the bottom, the description of the book, and it's a political scientist examines the role of violence in revolutionary change. Do we not see that happening today?
Yeah.
We see change happening, but it's not happening peacefully. And the reason why it's not happening peacefully is because the people that we put in office to make things happen peacefully have their own agenda, but that's another thing. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. So listen. I owe you guys an apology. I promised you something. I didn't send it to you. I will send it to you this week because I want us to be able to get some of our grammar done, because we've been kind of lax in doing what's a noun, what's a pronoun, whatever. And I need us to get back on that. In fact, I'm looking at Brother Milton, and he's smiling. And I just want to, so Brother Milton, tell us, what's a noun?
Person, place, or thing.
You know you got the wrong
name of a person, place, or thing.
Thank you. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or idea. You know, because religion is an idea, and it's a noun. When I talk about Baptist, I have to put a capital B, because that's a proper noun. If I talk about just church, it can be a little c, because it could be any church. When I talk about Third Eternal Baptist Church, I had to put everything. Am I talking about your church? I talk about Third Eternal Baptist Church. I had to make sure that everything is capitalized, right?
So would you call that a Pacific now?
Third Eternal is a proper noun.
Oh,
okay. It's the name of the proper name of a church.
Okay.
So, and then it is specific, because if I'm talking about any man, then it's just man. But if I'm talking about Joseph Fogel, that has to be specific. And it's
specific. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we talked about a noun. What's a verb?
A verb.
Action.
See, you're taking the shortcuts again, Brother Milton. A verb a verb is a word that denotes action or state of being. Like when we say I am, that's not action, it's a state of being.
Okay.
You know.
I get that all the time, that correction.
You say what?
I get that all the time, that verbal correction.
What? What are you talking about? When we're putting together a sentence, right? And I'm telling you, and looking at the things that you guys have written, your sentences have been really good. And I realize that there are those of us that have help when we're doing our sentences. But even
absolutely.
Wait, Sister Joyce, I can't read lips.
Call him.
But then we're gonna get that noise.
That's all right. You can hang up. You know.
That encourages him. Don't do that.
I'm going to coach this puzzle. Wait a minute.
Joyce. Which sister? Oh, that's why there's two Joyces in there. I'll take.
Calling Joyce.
So what were you saying?
Mr. Mark.
Yes.
What happened to the match?
See, wait a minute. So, you talked about the match I promised to send you?
No, the video match.
You know, I'm gonna have to call you back.
You know what? I'm gonna have her change her phone. Tell her to hang up and go to her email.
Okay, she's gonna put on mute.
Yeah, tell her to hang up, go to her email. I'm gonna invite her. Tell her to hang up and use her phone and go to her email. But tell her to use the phone, not the computer. Okay?
Brother Dennis.
Yeah.
Tell her when she signs on, I don't think that she's hitting that internet voice or not. Right when your video comes on, there's a thing that's why you couldn't hear me. Because I messed around and didn't hit that.
Somehow, I know, but we gotta be in person to show her how to do that though. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the only thing that comes up on the screen when you get ready to log in. Once you let her in, that comes right up.
But we'll clarify with it. But at the same time, I'm gonna see if she can come on her phone.
You don't understand. You can't get a free lunch. Leave him alone, Brother Milton.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my God. George, come on your phone and to your computer, okay? Can you hear me?
Okay. Oh, can you access the
email on the phone?
Can you do this on the phone? So, instead of going through the computer.
Okay, tell the computer, put the computer down and do the phone.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold it. We're wasting recording time.
Go ahead.
We're gonna come back to Sister Joyce. We're gonna call her back later. Okay. Okay. Listen. Okay. So when we have a sentence, what do we want? What do we need in a sentence?
What do we need? We need the person, place.
No. We need every sentence has a subject.
Such as a verb, a noun, and a subject.
It has a subject and has an action word. We have something that the subject is doing.
Okay.
Unless you have the kind of sentence that's an exclamatory sentence, it's like stop. That's like one sentence.
Okay.
You know, so I'm just saying all that because when you're writing stuff and you're writing for a test or something like that, you don't always remember all the things you need to remember, but I want to make sure that this stuff is fresh in our mind. Okay. So as this stuff comes up, when you get ready to take a test now, Brother Milton, we don't know when you don't ever know why you might have to do a report for somebody or do something, and you want to make sure that it's all intact. You know, so whether we're taking a test, writing a report, writing a letter to somebody saying, why didn't you give me what I was supposed to get? We want to make sure that when we're discussing things, we want to be clear.
Right.
Okay? I have some other questions I want to ask you. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with us today, but I have some other questions I want to ask you. There's in the GED test, no matter how, they ask you questions about citizenship. And some of the things that people don't necessarily remember about citizenship, because when you learn citizenship, that's way back in about the 5th grade. You know, that is way back in the day. So what is this? What is the supreme law of the land? What is all the laws based on in our country?
Truth and justice?
The Constitution.
Okay.
You know how when you see them take people to court for things, it has something to do with what happened with regard to the Constitution. Mm-hmm. You know, somebody's constitutional rights were violated, or something else like that. So, and the Constitution does 3 things. It sets up the government, it defines the government, and it protects the basic rights of Americans. Which is why when somebody wants to arrest you and you haven't done anything, your rights are violated. And the Constitution protects your rights with regard to that. When we look at the how all this stuff is happening now. All this stuff is transpiring right now with all the anger and negative activity. It's so many things that are going on now. When you look at how it's affecting our older people, it's affecting us old folks one way, and it's affecting the young folks a totally different way. It's affecting people who are financially okay one way, and it's affecting people who are broke a different way. And what we need to do is, when we think about the Constitution, when you're thinking about how this stuff is impacting us as a nation, I looked at something on, you know how you get those little blasts from the news stations like CNN or NPR or whatever, and over 1 billion people who are dead receive stimulus checks. And you still have millions of people who haven't gotten an unemployment check yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's not some clerk who's sitting at a desk. That's not that clerk's problem. It's the people who are managers that have
supposed to be managers.
Yeah, they're not doing their jobs. And if over 1 billion stimulus checks went out to people who are deceased and have been deceased, then are they still getting their SSI checks? Are they still getting their Social Security checks? Who's collecting this?
Somebody.
You know, it's something to think about, and as believers, it's something for us to pray about that it'll get resolved. Okay, so like I said, apologies, and I promise you guys will have the stuff by, what's today, Thursday? You'll have it by Saturday. I'm gonna make sure I put it in the mail today. Okay. Did I tell you what I'm sending you?
No.
I'm sending you geography stuff.
You gotta look. You gotta look up at the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll send you enough material you can answer all the questions in the work. Okay. All right. Is there anything that you would want me to talk about or want me to go over in the next couple of weeks?
Not right off hand, right now. Maybe when I hang up the phone, that's when it'll come to me.
Well, you know what'll happen? I'm gonna tell you what'll happen. We'll stop talking and I'll start putting the packet together, and then you guys are gonna say, "What? Where did she come up with all of this?"
Right. Yeah.
But
just like that map of I was looking over that there. The map of how the United States started and whatnot.
Wasn't that good?
That was very
interesting. That was good. Yeah, that was good. Uh-huh.
And you know what I liked especially about that? I liked the fact that it talked about, even with Iran, you know, because so many times you hear people talk about, oh, we have bad experiences, but they were our friends.
Right.
You know, until they weren't our friends anymore, you know, and different people we sided with. If you listen to the news recently, they talked about, Brother Dennis, you were reminding me of this. Mr. Trump said he wanted to come out of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday when he was talking to the president of Poland, he was talking about spending time in Poland now. And the president of Poland was like, don't upset the balance. You know, because the way that the things are situated, the armed forces that we have placed in Germany serve as a balance with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like kind of like a protection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the President Duda was like, no. Yes, sir.
Now you know why he's doing that. Like I said, the greatest politician of all times, Nancy Pelosi. She said all road leads to Putin. If they move the military out of Germany, the reason they set it up is to keep Russia in check, because after World War II, Russia was going to try to take over Europe. So the United States sent the military there. Oh, George, this is back. Okay, is that better, Sister? Is that better, Sister Joyce? Oh my God. Are you on your phone or your computer?
You're on the computer, looks like.
Yeah,
Oh, you're on the computer. Okay. Okay, but just listen and pay attention, and then we'll call you afterwards. If you got any question, raise your hand, and then but make sure it's important, because you know, I mean, all your questions are important, but you know what I mean. Glad to have you back.
Sister Marsha, I do have a question to ask.
Yes.
You know, I've heard it. Well, I've heard it before, but I didn't know if you have understood. Y'all understood it, that the Black Lives Matter. Who started that?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
They were lesbians that started it.
Oh yeah.
There was a preacher that I listened. Well, my son, he brought it up when a lady told him about it. But I listened to a preacher Sunday, and he talked on that. That he said that when you're messing with an organization, you should always read the fine print. And the fine print of that is they don't believe in the Western thing here about the one man, one woman. They nuclear wants to, do away with that.
The nuclear family.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
I'll be right with you, Brother Dennis. But you know what? The challenge that I have with that is, even in dealing with our country, people keep talking about how our country was made up by Christians. The people that were the founding fathers were Christians. They were not Christians. They were deists. They believed in God, but they believed in a God who put things in place and walked away from it. They believed in a God who that put man in charge. They believed in things that are contrary to what the Word of God says. When you look at the depths of the Word of God, you know, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're a Christian nation." No, we're not.
Well, doesn't the white evangelicals, they preach that?
They preach that, but they're preaching something that they're not truly identifying.
Okay.
I'm putting a label on it so that you'll buy what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay. But when I look at these people and look at Ben Franklin and Jefferson and all, they were deists. Like I said, they believed in God. They believed in our God.
Right.
But they didn't believe in the Trinity. They didn't believe in God as we understand him.
Right.
Brother Dennis?
Okay. You know, let's take the civil rights movement. Many of the key civil rights movement, Malcolm X was Muslim, you know, and a lot of people that didn't believe God, they did all kind of stuff as far as they're concerned. If you look at the news media, the best news media people that we agree with are lesbians and gay people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the way the world is, brother. The world is like that. The world is composed. I mean, you know, so that's why I'm not Democratic or Republican. I'm Godcratic. But let's take this under consideration. Human rights is for everybody. You know what I mean?
God loves everybody.
I'm not saying lesbian rights or gay rights, but human rights is for everybody. As long as they're fighting for the same, I agree on the part that they're fighting for. Now, for them being lesbian, they you know, and gay and stuff like that, that is when Christians step in and understand that they need prayer.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't even referring to that per se, which you're right about that, though. But I think that they're perpetrating a fraud by using, I think they started with Trayvon Martin and to form this, but they make it sound like they are for the Black people, but what they are for is the people of the homosexuality. That's the freedom that they're fighting for.
Is that why so many white
not just Black people per se. They have nothing to do with the man. In fact, if you look at it, I think it would tell you that they don't even have a man on it. They don't, you know, to have anything to do with a man. It's only the homosexuality thing is what they're what they're about, and they're marching.
I'm glad to get that information, right? Because it's always good to be informed about how things started. You know what I mean? So good information. So, but my point is, God is in control of all of this.
Right.
He's in control of all of this. But that's good information. It does not mean that I'm going to stand on a soapbox and say, okay, Black Lives Matter. Y'all started by lesbians. I don't agree with you. I'm over exaggerating. I'm not going to say I condone lesbianism. I don't. So, but
but they're getting funds though. Also, people are contributing to them. Are they helping anybody else? Are they helping the ACP? Are they helping them? You know what I'm saying?
People are supporting the NAACP. They're supporting National Action Network. People are supporting a lot of different organizations. And part of the umbrella of Black Lives Matter has helped a lot of young people that have organizations where people are contributing to them and helping them also. I just want to say two little quick things. Number one, if I found out that I had bilateral knee surgery, which is major surgery. I mean, when somebody goes at you with an axe and a hatchet and a saw, that's major surgery. If I would have found out that my surgeon was a homosexual, that would not have made a difference to me because he knew his job.
No problem there.
Okay.
No problem. Only with the organization.
Amen. My problem is with things with people with catchphrases. No matter how Black Lives Matter started out, there are people who have attached themselves to Black Lives Matter. There are the people that have the signs that say trans lives matter. When it came out, there were policemen out in the Midwest who were like blue lives matter. I think that people get caught up in catchphrases. And I think that what happens is as Christians, I put it this way, as Christians, instead of being critical of what people are doing when people are trying to do something positive, it's like either investigate them more or pray for them or whatever. But it's like, I'm gonna put a negative tag on this so you won't support them. It's a sad thing. How many times have we been to a church where that choir was jumping? And everybody talked about this church has a fantastic choir, blah, 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 blah. Come to find out the choir director's homosexual, the organists are homosexual. So it's like we had to be, I'm just saying, me personally, I had to be real, real careful. I'm careful of who I deal with. But I also realize that our God has a love for everybody. And it's not his desire that any should be lost.
Right.
So is that the point?
I don't question that. I don't question that.
No,
none of that. You're all right.
That's good information.
Yeah, that's all. Just information. That's all. Information.
Hey, what's up?
That's all it is.
How you doing?
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's looking for. It's like why they connected like that there, because I think they're looking for a platform, and and the platform is, since you being heard right now, I got to get on your platform.
Absolutely. That's what I'm. Because they are against the family structure of a father and a mother. They're against that.
Who is the gay life?
Are you saying Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, that's the one who started all lives. Not all lives. Black Lives Matter.
But you say the gays started that, right? Didn't it?
Right. It was women. It was women.
Right. So
I think it was 3 women that was on the.
That started it. Yes.
Okay, yes. But I think people. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the preacher that I was listening to Sunday, well, I've heard about it, but he brought it up and said that because he's out there marching and whatnot, and he said when you're going to do stuff like that and you hook up with the names, you should investigate that particular thing. And the only thing he said is you need to read the fine print before you get yourself, you're gonna get yourself involved. That's all I'm saying.
But the bottom line is the word of God tells us that we need to know who we're joining with.
That's right. That's right. That's
the
right.
word of God, and it tells us that we're not that.
I might do it Saturday or Monday.
So if you was out there marching with a Black Lives Matter and you find out you were gay, then you turn around and say, "I'm gonna be gay too."
No,
they ain't like that. It's just so. I guarantee you, a lot of them black men that's wearing them shirts, they would go off. They would rip them shirts up if they knew that. That's all. I'm only saying. That's all. They use it to me. They're perpetrating a fraud, but by Black Lives Matter. But the thing of it is that they're talking about the transgender people. Is what they're talking about. But they started it under a false pretense.
Now, wait a minute. Let me say something. It might be true, but do certain politicians that say Black Lives Matter mean that? Or do certain everybody, all of them are not. I don't know if it's because everybody not looking at it from their perspective.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Give me just a second, Brother Les. Brother Les.
Yes.
Put your computer on mute because we're hearing your conversation. Put your computer on mute.
Say again.
Put your computer on mute. Look down at the bottom of your screen on the left-hand side and click on that microphone.
And when you get through talking, come back.
See, on the left, just click on that.
And when you get through talking, come back.
Thank you. Thank you. He did it.
Right.
Okay. But you know that, and I think there's sometimes when things get thrown at us to throw us off key, to throw us off target, you know. And I just think it's good. It's good to investigate things. Like I said, the word of God tells us.
When we get through, I'm going to research it too, to see, I'm going to
Hey, look, trust me. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you an example. When Mr. Trump was in Tulsa, and they took that white woman and they started harassing her, and the police carried her away and stuff like that. And the news person said, "What's your name?" And she said, "My name is Sheila Burke." Sheila, whatever her name was. Sheila. Anyway, and listen, I think it was like maybe, honey, what was it, about 15 seconds I had Googled it. And I could tell you right then and there how old she was, what kind of work she did. Okay. I told my husband, I said, this woman is involved in charity issues on a high level. She's not a nobody. She may have had a thought in her mind, but they just picked this woman up thinking she was a kook,
I found out right away that she was a society woman.
Yeah, she's
doing newspapers all the time,
Right,
So,
right.
Hey, look, as far as researching is concerned, Milton, we're sitting there, we're looking at people. The man came on TV this morning, and he's a emergency room surgeon or whatever, and his name was Paul Dark. They first put his name up as Park because he was black, and they thought that Dark was wrong.
Wow.
So they put him up as Paul Park, right?
And
then the man came up again, and they flashed it up and made it Dark, right? But his last name D-A-R-K. And I got TV and I looked at his little jacket and I saw D-A-R-K. I said, "Oh, y'all had to straighten yourselves out. You didn't want to mess with the man and call him something he wasn't." Okay.
Right.
Let me tell you, this is the house of research over here. We will Google, we will go, look, I will go to my college library and pull up information to make sure I understand what I'm seeing. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So if it's one of them things, we'll say, yeah, they are. Okay, then yeah, they are. But bottom line is, I thank God for them making a point and pulling people out for Black lives. If that wasn't their initial agenda, then so be it. but I'm glad that people see it for Black lives.
And that's just my God. He could take.
I think they said as united we stand.
Right. And God can take a bad thing and make it good. Don't forget that He can take a bad thing and turn it over to good. And we can do
but the thing of it is that they're still fighting for the rights for the homosexuality. And that's, I mean, like I said, I have nothing, I'm not even questioning that. I'm just questioning on what they're saying, who they're representing for real. That's all I'm saying.
You should. You know why? Because you're involved in missionary work and stuff like that. Yeah. You have to be able to understand, get other people to understand what perspective, you know what I mean? So that's understandable, you know. And you gave us good information.
Yeah, you gave us something to research. Thank you.
Like I said, I mean, I've heard it already for a while back, but the minister that I was listening to Sunday preach, he put that in. He didn't call them out. He used finesse as far as I'm concerned, because he was just saying that you need to read the fine print to know who you're dealing with if you're going to be standing behind somebody's name. Yeah, that's all that was.
I've been stuck on this one thing for the whole week. You know how when we grew up and we were going to school and they talked about George Washington, and everybody would tell you that, number one, he never told a lie, okay? And number two, he had wooden teeth, okay?
Wooden teeth?
Wooden teeth.
Made his own.
And they say he had wooden teeth. Well, come to find out, the truth is he had false teeth. His dentist made them, but the teeth were teeth of slaves.
Oh.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Right. I don't know.
But you know, they're portraying him as a womanizer. Was that true too?
Now that part I don't know. I never heard that one.
Well, only because I seen it on a movie that.
See, now that's the part we have to be careful of with those.
I know. Right.
They sensationalize stuff. Right. You know, if you read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, you'll find out he was a womanizer. You know, he went to France, had a good time, and came back.
Right, drinking and carrying on and whatnot. Yeah.
You know, but but I was like, all these years, I kept thinking, oh, poor George. Did the termites get his teeth? You know,
right.
He had people's teeth.
Ain't that so? I never heard of that. Yeah. Okay.
He had people's teeth, not just any old people. Slaves.
Right.
The first thing that popped in my mind, well, were they dead slaves or did they knock their teeth out?
They probably knocked their teeth out. That's probably what they did. They looked at them and seen how they looked, nice and white and everything. You couldn't understand how they were, how they could withstand that.
There you go.
You sure he didn't go to the morgue?
Of course, he had his own slaves.
Yeah.
It died, might have killed them. Boy, you got pretty white Keaton might have killed him.
Yeah.
The best teeth I ever saw. Maybe that's why they were looking at the slaves' teeth when they bought them. You know, you got them going like their head.
That's right. They'd be looking at their mouth. That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
They were looking at their teeth. Yeah, I can.
That's right. Yeah. Terrible.
Well, I'm telling you, I saw this thing with Spike Lee. I'll be right with you, Sister Joyce. I saw this thing with Spike Lee, and Spike Lee was like how America was built on something, and it wasn't like he was not telling the truth. It was like we just grew up over the course of the last 200 and some years to just believe that when people came to America, they were just the most wonderful people. All they were looking for was freedom. No, they came to America and they kicked the Indians around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
People are concerned about Christopher Columbus, and when I grew up in Chicago, I grew up in a neighborhood that was multicultural, and it was like when Columbus Day came, everybody was celebrating Columbus Day, and he put on a little hat, looked like a boat. I mean, it was like,
right.
And to find out that this man, when people wouldn't do what he wanted them to do, would chop off their feet. How cruel is that?
Yeah.
These men brought venereal disease to this nation and gave it to people that didn't even know nothing about venereal disease.
And they're still doing it.
That's what they did in Hawaii when they went to Hawaii. That's why you don't have real Hawaiians over there too much anymore, because they told the story when I went over there one time, and they said how the white men came over with their venereals and all this, all this kind of diseases, killed them all because they had no medicine for it, no cure.
I mean, when you realize, hey, you have people who grew up in caves.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it the Moors that showed them how to take the animals out the house and put them in a pen and built and told them how to buy a hospital? From what I understand,
you and the animals not supposed to sleep in the same house.
That's what they used to do. Yeah. Besides other things with them. Seriously, that's what they did.
Sheeps and goats.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's amazing. Sister Joyce, how are we going to hear you? Wait a minute. How are we going to hear her?
Don't you know sign?
Oh, listen, we're gonna get to this. Is gonna be a private conversation. We'll get you back. But we're mentioning sign. Did you notice? I'm trying to figure. Just an observation on my part. Please help me. And if you can't help me, pray for me. These people are sitting up there and they're talking about the pandemic and they're talking about all these other things. And you have these people.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
You got no sign.
To the deaf people. To the deaf people.
It's like, look, at least when you see the deaf people on the street and they're talking, you kind of understand what they're saying. But the professional signers, I'm like, what?
Where they come from?
What did you say?
But they had one on there one time that he wasn't signing at all. He just was making that, and they caught up with him.
I think that would be okay if they didn't have the facial things to go with it. But it's like, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Y'all so bad. Y'all so bad. So I'm leaving you guys with a return envelope so you can drop it back in the mail. Okay. Hopefully you'll have it by Monday. No, hopefully you need to have it by Saturday because you need to get it back to me. You need to put it back in the mail by Tuesday. Okay?
Okay, this is a quick test, huh?
Yeah, it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be just enough to keep you busy.
Okay.
Like you don't have nothing else to do.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. I'm done.
I'm looking at who the organizers. It was three basic organizers, one of them was a woman, and she met a transgender man, and they married. So
a transgender man? What's that? What's that? A transgender man? What the man? What he converted to?
I guess a woman.
Where did he convert from?
From a man to a woman. From a man to a woman.
To a man.
A man to a woman?
No, from a woman to a man. Transgender woman is from a man to a woman. A trans man is from a woman to a man.
Okay.
So she married a transgender man. So two of them are gay. The third one is a Nigerian. She's
right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Nigerian is not gay, but but they were all combined. The civil rights activism, with gay activism, with transgender activism, with any kind of activism. So basically, that's what that was,
Well, no, because of the nuclear part of it means that they have no dealings with a man, and the structure of the head of the house. They're not saying that.
But you know what? When you look at that, you have people who see that as welcoming.
Right. Yeah. This day and age, yeah.
Now I don't know how the African feel,
because they are like me. So I could see where a lot of transsexuals and whatever would just want to flow with them.
But I'm glad to know that, because if things look kind of shaky on down the road, then we know what's going on.
That's right.
If things get kind of shaky on down the road, so I guess they figure if they promoted the crucial things, then their movement be taken care of too.
But you know what? And this is just Marsha. Okay. It's just Marsha. When I look at the evangelicals and how the evangelicals are anti-gay, but yet they're pro-adultery.
Yeah, pro-adultery, yeah.
They're pro-adultery because they keep supporting this man who is an adulterer.
Right.
Okay.
Well, from what I heard, like you were saying, you're right. I don't mean to cut you off, but they're saying that it doesn't matter what he's done. The Lord has put him in place to do certain things because they say God could use anybody, which is true.
Yeah, just like.
And this is what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
So we just equate him with the serpent.
Well, you can, but they're saying that God put him there to do that because of what he did for Israel, and whatnot. So that's what.
What did he do? No.
Well, because he made what? He made that estate, and whatnot.
That wasn't his job.
Okay, wait.
I'm sorry, Dennis. Just because something goes the way you want it to, we know how God. Go ahead, Dennis. I'm done.
Okay. I agree with him. God put him there, but because God is a sovereign being, we don't know why God put him there. But remember, God promotes him because of God. You think
right?
I was explaining why Cyrus and which were pagan people, and Nebuchadnezzar, which was also pagan, why God put them in position. Now, but let's look at it like this. And evangelicals, when it comes to evangelicals, those ones that support Trump, our fellowship with them, as long as they stick to biblical principles. You know what I mean?
Right.
As long as they stick to righteousness, our fellowship with them. But but you gotta admit, if I support God, I'm not gonna let someone that's an adulterer, a liar, lead me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let an adulterer and liar lead me. In that mega church, there was a whole crowd of people in that church. Number one, the two preachers lied. You know the lie they told, right?
Yeah. When he was in Arizona, they lied. They lied about the air filtration system that they had in the church that would remove 99
of
the particulate, and you know who called them out on that lie? The manufacturer of the air filtration system.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He said, the manufacturer said, I don't know where they got that from. That's not what we told them.
And then the moral fiber, we as Christians, we got to believe God. I don't, I just believe God. We do what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to pray, do right things, feed the hungry like you do in your ministry, Brother Milton, stuff like that. As believers, that's what we do. We're not part of this world, because they got their motives, but you got to take into consideration when you look at it. Right is right, what is done by a preacher or not. They was crowded in there, and I'm gonna tell you what I saw, which my wife showed me. These motorcycle riders, the one that gun-toting militia, as well as the people with Trump hats on, they shook hands and they got along with somebody as Black Lives Matter. They all got a chance to speak, and they found out that one thing that by them getting a chance to speak, whether they agreed or not.
Right.
One militiaman took a picture with the Black Lives Matter with his kid and everything. So, all we need is one thing. You know what this world needs? And I don't know if it's in God's will. But if it's in God's will, we need better leadership.
Amen.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's all there is to it,
Because I want to say what before we
disagree with people we disagree with, we agree with is part of this society.
Am I muted?
No, you're not.
Oh, I was wondering why you couldn't hear me. Listen, before we go, I just want to say, be sure to continue to keep Angeline and Reggie in prayer. We went to see Angeline yesterday, and her little eyes look so tired, you know. And those of us that have loved ones know what it is to want to be able to see your loved one and just see them face to face, no matter what's going on. She's not able to do that right now. He had a couple of setbacks, but he's moving forward. And want to just remember. And Sister Joyce, I've been making sure to take her stuff to eat so she's eating. She don't have to cook so much. And you just remember them in prayer. His grandmother's funeral was yesterday, and it really was kind of a little upsetting to Angelina, because as they were all going into the homegoing, he was calling her to ask her when was the homegoing. So that was kind of rough. So, and Joe, she's supposed to give you a call.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, because she needs some work done, and the man that did the work, he messed up on the cement. So we told her that everybody that does all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
We told her that you give the man a call, and she gonna call and see what
Good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know.
You're gonna turn me into a contract when I don't want to be one.
That's right. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah. Call for us did a good job. I'm gonna tell you.
Listen, I don't have my phone, Joyce. Dennis has my phone.
Okay.
Oh, you talked to her yesterday? And oh, she went out again.
Call Joyce Dixon.
Calling Joyce Dixon.
Go ahead, Central. We put up with the North for a while. We almost through anyway. Go ahead.
No, I had talked to you yesterday. No, day before yesterday. And I told her I'm gonna come down there and take care of her.
You come down there and do what?
She needs somebody to take care of her.
She does. You know what? She really needs somebody to sit and talk with. You know, and we stayed for a while. But and we were blessed. Somebody gave us a cake, a homemade pound cake for our anniversary.
Washington, yeah.
Yes, I took a little slice of that.
No cake now.
Pick up some turkey a dinner, you know, like that.
I love the bake and stuff. I don't think. I'm making some baked macaroni and cheese and some turkey gravy and stuff, and maybe some mixed vegetables.
Wait a minute, I want to get on that. My goodness.
Yeah, she loved that.
Yeah.
No cake.
But I just want to remind us to keep them in prayer.
Okay.
Our time is just about up. We're going to close this out in prayer.
What happened?
Brother Milton, you going to close this out in prayer?
Brother Les?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Will you call somebody?
I said Milton.
Well, go ahead, Brother Lester. He wanted to do it. Go ahead.
Close out. You got to take you off a speaker. I mean, you got to take it off of mute if you're going to pray. Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Father God. We got everybody together now and give some more. Continue to give them mercy travel. Continue to bless us, Lord. We thank you. We praise you. We honor you. We love you right now. Move by your precious blood. In the precious blood right now. We thank you, Lord. We praise you, honor. Right now. Amen.
Amen. Amen. How you doing, Brother Les?
I'm doing all right. About you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. By the grace of the Lord.
Yes. Pray. I pray everything's all right now. Each one of y'all, huh?
Yes, Joyce, Sister Joyce, and all of them, Brother Joe. Yeah.
Brother
All right.
God bless y'all.
All right.
I'm out.
God bless you. I'm out.
Including him.
Okay.
Now, remember, y'all, this,
Joe Hardiman has left the meeting. Right, Joe?
All right. Take care, Les.
So let's this is recorded.
Yeah. God
so
bless you.
Go ahead.
Yes, you do, brother.
What have you missed to be on recording, Les?
That's good.
Okay, be on
Say
recording.
again.
Whatever you miss will be on recording. Go on the class
I can't
page.
hear you. Say it again.
Go on your class page.
Say again.
And go on your class page and say last video, and this recorded to be on there, okay?
All right, then.
It'll be on there tomorrow. It'll be on there tomorrow.
Okay? God willing.
All right.
It'll be on tomorrow. What time?
Or leave meeting.
What time on the class page? I don't know, but I know it'll be on the. I'm gonna try to get it on the day. But I told you tomorrow to give myself time.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
What time tomorrow then? Yeah. You hear me?
I'm gonna hang up and call you.
All right. See y'all later.
All right.
All right. See y'all later. All right, man. All right.
All right. God bless.
God bless.